catch. McIntyre, touchdown.
In for the layup, goes at the buzzer.
Volusia wins it, the championship.
To tonight's game with a record of 25 wins.
Well, normally when you see red, that means you're angry and it's not a good thing. Well, at the end of 4 quarters tonight, seeing red might just be what you want. Why is that? Well, it's because the boys won a state championship here in Florida is on the line tonight at the Lakeland Center, and it'll be a matchup between the Welcome to the RP Funding Center here in Lakeland as we get ready to put a great big bow on week 1 of the FHSAA Basketball Championships, a 2-week affair here in Lakeland. We've got a big crowd here on a Saturday night. These Class 1A teams, they bring just not the students, it's a community happening, and they are here in big numbers from Williston and equally as big numbers from Hilliard, which, by the way, if you don't know, is actually just a little north of Jacksonville, maybe a couple of 3-pointers away from the Alabama border. Williston up in the Gainesville area, a little west of Gainesville, and so not too bad a trip here on a Saturday down I-75, but this building will get loud and electric as these two teams battle for a championship. For Hilliard, the Red Flashes, they come in with a record of 25-2 on the season. They are ranked number 3 among all Class 1A boys programs in the state by MaxPreps.com and their computer. Williston, meanwhile, and that's, by the way, Hilliard is 110th in the state amongst all the boys basketball programs. Williston comes in with a record of 28-2. They are ranked number 1 among all Class 1A teams in Florida and 23rd overall among all teams on the boys' side in the Sunshine State. So on paper, maybe a little edge towards Williston, but Hilliard played well here on Thursday night. They average about 67 points a game, so does Williston, maybe 68, so on paper it's a pretty even matchup. Williston averages less than 1 rebound more a game than Hilliard, and so we think this should be a good one to put week 1 to bed in Lakeland and get ready for the big classes next week, Class 5A, 6A, and 7A. Changed this year. It used to be week 1 was all girls tournament, and then week 2 was all boys. This year they organized it by class, so this is the last of the classes to have champions crowned. The 1A, 2A, and 3A girls and boys titles have already been handed out. This is the 4th of 4 championship games here in Lakeland today. Some of the names to know for Williston, a lot of the good things that happen will center around Kyler Lamb. He is averaging 16.6 a game to lead the Red Devils, and he is also their leading rebounder with 8.8 boards a game. He also leads in blocks per game with 2. Amaris Rodriguez is their leading rebounder. He wears number 1 and averages 6.5 points a game. Williston will be wearing their road white or red or home white uniforms with blue and red trim. Hilliard will be in their black road uniforms with white and red trim. C.J. Hall is their leading scorer, averaging 15.5 a game. Kevin Thomas, their leading rebounder, adding 10 boards a game. Malcolm Wortham, very good point guard, 4.3 assists and 3 steals a game. By the way, Kevin Thomas can be tough in the paint. He is averaging 2.5 blocks a game. So as you watch here on the NFHS network, Hilliard in black will be moving from left to right, and Williston in their home whites will be moving from right to left. And sad to report right out of the gate, no Hilliard pep band tonight. They were here yesterday, but did not make the trip today, unfortunately. So They were the only Pep band to make it all week, so I was looking forward to hearing from them tonight. So if you're watching back up in Hilliard, I know it's tough to get down here twice. It's a big trip, and I know you're rooting on your guys, and that's a good start. Kevin Thomas off the glass and in. Nice look down low, little shuffle in the lane, no whistle, and Javon Brown drops it in, so quickly tied here in the first 40 seconds. This is Malcolm Worthen bringing it over the timeline, passing it to Brandon Seldenbridge. Gives it off to DJ Alderman. Now to CJ Hall, arguably their best player, gives up the shot, gives it to Thomas now. Thomas gives it on top to Worthen, who will reset. Worthen being watched there by Rodriguez. There's that matchup again. Now over to Hall. He's going to direct some traffic underneath. Gets it down now to Thomas, and he has it knocked away. Here comes Williston on the run. And nice defensive play by Worthen there. Couldn't create the turnover, but did on the missed shot. This is C.J. Hall, maybe going to go one-on-one. Pulls up for a 16-footer off the rim, no good. Rebound to Kyler Lamb, and Williston will slow things down here just a bit. Little backdoor cut action for Javon Brown, knocked away. Seldenbridge will pick it up. Worthen drives right baseline, counted, and he's fouled. So a chance for an old-fashioned three here for the 6-foot senior guard Malcolm Worthen. Pretty drive there. Foul was on Aramis Rodriguez, by the way. First foul either way. The foul rule in high school basketball this year for the teams, 5 fouls in a quarter will send your opponent to the free throw line, and there is no more 1-and-1. All the free throws in the bonus now are 2-shot free throws. That is well short by Kyler Lamb. Ahead of the field, Seldenbridge puts it up, has it partially blocked in there by Javon Brown, and it will stay Hilliard basketball, I believe. And now they're going to talk it over, so let's just hold the phone for a moment. Nope, they're going to change it. So the cheers on the far sideline from the Williston fans who were booing just a minute ago, and the Hilliard fans behind us who were applauding, then quickly changed their tune. Going to be an emotional game, going to be loud, going to be fun. We hope you stay with us on the NFHS Network. And if you're in Williston or the greater Gainesville area tonight, tuned in, hello. And if you're in Hilliard in the greater Jacksonville area, hello to you as well, or wherever you may be watching. Got a letter a few years ago from a serviceman who was in the Middle East who got up at 3 in the morning to watch his team play in the state tournament a few years ago here in Lakeland. So it's, who knows where you're watching, but we're glad you're a part of it. 6-4 Hilliard. Quincy Parker has it knocked away. Worthen takes it to the hoop. And Quincy Parker atones for the turnover with a rejection there. Nice hustle by Parker. Gave it up, but never gave up on the play. And a little bit of a bobble by Worthen, and that helped Parker recover at the last second. Now Worthen in the corner. Thomas from 15 off the rim, no good. A little late in following his shot. Here comes Rodriguez. Rodriguez, 3 on the way by Reggie White is no good. And Alderman has the rebound. Little run and gun here both ways. Not huge high octane, but Around the rim and out. Here's the baseball pass, or the football pass all the way downfield. Javon Brown couldn't handle it. Little dipsy-do scoop effort by C.J. Hall is off the mark. Now it is Rodriguez who lays it up and in. So Williston trying to hit a home run ball a couple of times. Missed on the first, connects on the second. Tied at 6. 3.5 to go first quarter. Stone Ridge on a little runner, partially blocked in there, or Seldom Ridge rather. Here's an alley-oop and the finish for Javon Brown. That'll bring the Williston faithful out of their seats. Worthen loses the handle. Here comes Kyler Lamb, back-to-back dunks. And they are loving it in Red Devil land at the moment. For a moment, a timeout was going to be taken, but I think they're going to do a little court maintenance after the 2 dunks. So we'll continue to roll on here. 10-6 Williston on back-to-back dunks. Javon Brown and then Kyler Lamb. 4 different scorers already for Williston and a foul. They have let them play here in the first quarter. That's only the second foul either way. And they both belong to Williston. Nice little inbounds play. C.J. Hall not able to finish it. And it hit the end line, so it'll stay possession of the Red Flashes, the Red Devils and the Red Flashes here in Lakeland to bring week 1 to a close. Seldom Ridge with it. Gets it on top to C.J. Hall. Thomas leaves it for Worthen. Going to drive left, has a bobble and a foul. Rodriguez with it. Nice power move on the right baseline, and Rodriguez lays it in. He's got 4. Brown 4 as well. Little fake of the 3, and then a nice little 15-foot jumper by DJ Alderman. Got the big man in the air, went right around him, and made it a much easier shot, and it was a swisheroo from 15. Loose ball and a little aggressive and called for the foul is C.J. Hall. That'll be his first and the team's first. Neither team very close to the bonus at all here. Really good rule change. I really like it from the National Federation of High School Sports people. And the FHSAA eliminating the 2-tiered bonus system and the 1-and-1 and all that. And I like the fact that it resets now every quarter. And they will call 3 seconds. Williston by 4 with under a minute and a half to play here first quarter. See if Hilliard can find something to their liking here. Seldom Ridge will draw the whistle as Reggie White got his feet tangled up with the 6'2 senior for Hilliard. 3rd team foul, so Williston has 1 to give before the bonus, but again, that figure resets at the end of the quarter. Ridge gets it, has that slapped away underneath, but picked up by teammate C.J. Hall. Hall penetrates and again gets the big man in the air and again gets the foul this time. That is Kyler Lamb, who was deked out of position. First on Lamb. Rodriguez has 2, by the way, so he's actually going to take a seat here for the final minute and be replaced by DeAndre Harvey, who saw plenty of time Thursday, definitely a part of the Williston rotation. Underneath, another foul, and this will be free throws now. So Malcolm Worthen will go to the line with 52.9 seconds to go in the quarter. Short on the first.
Into the ballgame for Hilliard, number 23, King McMillan.
Well, Rodriguez is going to check back in here for Williston despite having 2 personals. It's a little bit of a roll of the dice, especially in a shooting situation where there may be a lot of banging on the rebound, but no worries as the free throw is made. More than with 3 now in the ballgame. See if it's last shot time here for the Red Devils. It is not. Rodriguez with the 2 fouls drives aggressively to the hoop. Now Seldom Ridge back the other way. Going to try and put it off the glass. Rejected in there by Javon Brown. Possession will stay with Hilliard.
Back into the ballgame for Williston, Quincy Parker.
Scramble and a foul. This will go against Hilliard, against... Who is that one against here? McMillan, I think. King McMillan. Just checked in, yep. We are actually opposite the scorer's table, so sometimes it's a little difficult for us to pick up a number right away if it's not an obvious foul. Or one that we can see pretty clearly. 3 ball on the way, around the rim and out at the buzzer. Pretty good look from distance by Reggie White. It was actually the first 3-pointer, actually the 3rd 3-pointer that Williston took in the quarter. Hilliard did not try one from distance. 8 minutes in the books here in Lakeland. Williston 12, Hilliard 9 back. With the second quarter in just a moment. You're watching the Florida High School Boys and Girls Basketball State Championships. It's the Boys 1A title game on the NFHS Network.
He's going to take it himself for a championship. A double play. Winston the free. Turn it to the end zone. What a catch. McKay's on touchdown.
Into the layup, goes at the buzzer.
Wins it, the championship.
Of the 2024 FHSAA Boys Basketball State Championships. For the most up-to-date information on FHSAA Championships, including the complete official statistics from today's game.
First half numbers here. Hilliard 4 of 14 from the floor, 29%. As we said, they did not shoot a 3, and 1 of 3 from the free throw line. For Williston, good from the field, very good, 6 for 10, 60%. 0 of 3 from beyond the arc. They did not shoot a 3 free throw, and Hilliard leads the rebounding battle 8-7. Quick recap of the first 8 minutes here before the largest crowd of the week Love the fact that the FHSAA put the little schools at center stage on a Saturday night, and their communities and students have responded in kind. Drive to the hoop and counted for Reggie White. Williston's lead is now 5. White with 4, along with Rodriguez and Brown, his teammates. Long distance 3 is well short by C.J. Hall. That was Steph Curry range. Or if you're a female basketball fan, Caitlin Clark range. This one a little closer in by Kyler Lamb, but it's still off the mark. Good job by Rodriguez with 2 fouls there to disrupt the breakout. And possession will stay with Williston here. Reggie White with it. Nice little spinorama by Reggie White in the lane. And White now with 6 to lead all scorers. Warden leaves it for Thomas. Thomas going to drive the paint, kick it out. 3 ball on the way. Misses everything from King McMillan, but on the putback. Hilliard back to within 5 thanks to Seldom Ridge. He's such a scrappy, heady player. Kind of guy I really like watching out there. Never gives up on a play, and kind of the type of player thinking maybe 1 or 2 steps ahead of some of the other players on the floor at times. 3 ball on the way around the rim, no good out of the hands of Javon Brown. Malcolm Wortham with the rebound. See if he goes all 94 feet, tries to lay it off the glass, no good. Well, he was determined. Nice bounce pass, that was a beauty by White, and it just eluded Kyler Lamb for a moment, but that was because Lamb was fouled. I mean, talk about putting it through the eye of the needle. There was not much space there, and Reggie White let go of the fastball right through the lane that Lamb almost had a chance to convert a close-in basket, but he was fouled. First team foul either way here in the second quarter. Was against Thompson, by the way, and now a second quick foul being picked up. This one will go against Seldom Ridge, his first second team foul, and they'll call it a shooting foul.
At the line, shooting 2 will be Evans of Hilliard.
Second one on the way, that is true and through as well. Biggest lead of the game now for Williston at 7. Hilliard did have a lead midway through the first quarter of 2 points. That's their largest margin. Seldom Ridge with it. Going to drive into the paint. Picks up the dribble. Gives it off to C.J. Hall. C.J. Hall finds some room finally and puts it up and in. 5 different Hilliard players now in the scoring column, led by Hall with 4. Rodriguez going to take it all the way to the basket. Can't get it to fall. Track meet the other way, up, and that is off the glass and in from C.J. Hall. Hilliard within 3 and then a turnover. Little spurt here for the Red Flashes. Alderman drives the paint, then dishes back outside. C.J. Hall thought about it after the spin move. Thomas picks up the dribble at the top of the three-point line. Now King McMillan finally finds Alderman. Little floater from the lane. Can't get the roll. McMillan going to take the rebound, though. Reset here for the Red Flashes. Down just 3 halfway through the second quarter. Knocked away. Whistle and a foul. This may be against Lamb, and he can't quite believe it. Number 10. That's his second. Alderman will get it on the left wing now to Hall. Outside the 3 line. Dribbles baseline left. Little scoop shot with the right hand and couldn't finish. Lamb, 4-3. That's off the rim. Still waiting for our first 3 ball tonight. Teams are combined 0 of 8. Here's CJ. 3 on the way at the other end by McMillan, no good. Ahead of the field is Reggie White, and with authority, White gives Williston their 5-point lead back. Sometimes it pays to cherry pick. Good anticipation by White that the play was going to come his way. He didn't have a Hilliard defender within 30 feet of him. Almost a turnover there by Alderman, but he will recover. Thomas loses it, picked up by Seldenbridge. Inside 3 to go. And now a foul or a timeout call. Timeout taken by Hilliard.
Hilliard calls timeout. Be a full timeout. Posted pictures from today.
Hilliard's 49 points in their semifinal win was actually a season low. First time all year they hadn't cracked the half-century mark, but
By searching for FHSAA.
helps when you hold your opposition to just 36.
Facebook.com/FHSAA. On the site, you can keep up with teams and people who strive to make high school athletics in the state of Florida.
And it was especially suffocating defense late in the third into the fourth with a huge run by the Red Flashes that put the game out of reach. In fact, it was a 15-0 run. It made the difference over Crossroad Academy out of Quincy up in the Panhandle. Well, it's been an historic day already, and Hilliard is hoping to make it historic times 2. Gibbs High School out of St. Petersburg winning a championship earlier today. Their first since 1969. Hilliard can do that 6 years better. They have not won a basketball championship since 1963. And that'll help. Kevin Thomas kisses it off the window. They come into the RP Funding Center tonight with a 18-game winning streak. Williston on a 10-game streak. And they had little problem taking care of Chipley yesterday, 63-30. Final 2 minutes of the half. Thomas with it. Seldenbridge now. Feed inside to Thomas, but he stepped on the end line.
Stepped out of bounds. Williston ball.
Seldenbridge had 10 in the win Friday. 4 rebounds. A couple of assists. Nice feed inside, and Tyler Lamb finishes the play. Williston by 7 now. That is their largest lead of the half. Hall, little fadeaway jumper from 12 is good. Decided against trying to take it all the way to the hoop. Instead, did the old fadeaway, and it was pure. Harvey with it. Final minute of the half. Harvey takes it to the hoop. Can't get the reverse layup to find the rim, and so Hilliard with it could cut it to 2 or 3 here. C.J. Hall will back it out. Now drives into the paint. This time throws up a circus shot and gets it to go. Well, what the heck? Sometimes better to be lucky than good, and quickly back the other way, Tyler Lamb lays it in. Let's see if Hilliard wants to play for a last shot here with 20 seconds to go in the second quarter. Expected a good one, and we've got it. 3 on the way. Yes, sir! C.J. Hall again. Quickly back comes Reggie White, and he is fouled. So Hall finishing the half with a flurry. Leads all scorers in the game with 13. Only player in double figures on either side.
At the line shooting 2 will be Reggie White.
Reggie White going to shoot a pair here. Williston only been to the free throw line twice. Has hit both, misses that one. Neither team has really been impacted greatly from the free throw line. 2 of 3 now for Williston. 1 of 3 from the line for Hilliard. So. And there's only been 4 total fouls called in this quarter, so there won't be any bonus free throws. Knocked out of bounds, it will stay Williston basketball. So they'll get a chance to tack on here maybe with 4.8 seconds to go. You know, our score graphic isn't showing the tenths of a second, so it's actually closer to 5 than 4. The official game clock is 4.8 seconds. Aramis Rodriguez will put it in play. Dumps it into Reggie White. White rolls to the hoop and lays it in. They determined Reggie White with 2 to end the first half here in Lakeland, and White on the game now in double digits with 10. I'll go along with 2 rebounds and 4 assists. But that is only the half of it. The more to come sign is up here in Lakeland. Halftime of our Saturday night special, the Class 1A Boys State Championship. And it is Williston 28 and Hilliard 24. We'll be back with the second half in just a few minutes. You are watching the 2024 Florida High School Boys and Girls State Basketball Championship Tournament on the NFHS Network.
Of the FHSAA.
High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player to get your digital copy today. High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player to get your digital copy today. High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player to get your digital copy today. High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player to get your digital copy today. High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player to get your digital copy today.
"16 minutes left for one of the two teams, the Red Flashes or the Red Devils, to take a 1A championship home with them tonight as we take a look at some of the first half highlights. And it was really pretty even the whole way. That was Reggie White inside, who had a very nice half. Speaking of nice halves, C.J. Hall with a very good effort. Nice block in there by Williston. They have played well at both ends of the floor, but so has Hilliard. Nice alley-oop finish. In fact, that was back-to-back dunks. Kyler Lamb finishing off the slam after the alley-oop. One of the numbers that jumps off the page, but you know, with a couple of slams in there, I guess it makes some sense. But even still, Williston in that first half shooting 59% from the floor. And so if you're Hilliard and you're looking for something to hang your hat on, you're down by only 4 points, and the team you're playing shot almost 60% and only managed to lead by 4. Hilliard, respectable, 40% from the field, 1 of 4 from beyond the arc. The two teams just combined 1 of 10 from distance. Williston took 6 triples and did not connect on any. They will move from left to right now on the screen on which you're watching, in the home whites with red and blue trim. This is Javon Brown with it. Down low looking for Reggie White, and coming in and cleaning up is DeAndre Harvey. First 2 of the game for Harvey. White leading the Red Devils with 10 points and 5 rebounds, or rather 5 assists. C.J. Hall doing most of the damage for Hilliard with 13. That one just off the mark. Rebound underneath, put up by Thomas, no good. Was fed there by C.J. Hall on the rebound. But Thomas will shoot 2 here.
Fouls on Aaron Rodriguez, his 3rd, team's first.
Rebounds pretty equal, 15-14. Slight edge to Hilliard in that department. First one on the way in through for Thomas. Not too bad in the turnovers department. 7 against Williston, 5 against Hilliard. Points in the paint, though. Williston taking advantage of some size inside. 28 points in the paint. So 28 of their 30 points have been in the paint. They do not, as we said, have a three-pointer so far on 6 attempts. Have to look back and see how many three-pointers they took in their semifinal win. Thomas with a little turnaround, and that is denied by Javon Brown. Quickly back the other way, Reggie White in the corner. Leaves it for Kyler Lamb. And wow, there's a run to the right baseline and a slam for DeAndre Harvey. Boy, he had a couple of gigantic steps to get there, and he made it just. He knew he had just enough to get to the rim. There wasn't a square to spare. And on the foul now, Harvey commits that on the defensive end. Here's the replay. Boy, is this worth watching again. I think he had already reached his apex and was on the way back down when he flushed it. I mean, that was well done, Mr. Harvey. Well done by Malcolm Worthen. So Hilliard took 13 threes in their win. Williston 15. So, you know, that's in the neighborhood of average. But the two teams right now just 1 of 11 from beyond the line. Reggie White will take it all the way, and Reggie White now has 12 in the ball game. C.J. Hall on the dribble. Spin move in the lane. Seldom Ridge from the corner. Yes, sir! Brandon Seldom Ridge dials one up. He's got 5. And Hilliard with much needed points on that trip, back within 4. 7 has been the largest deficit on a couple of different occasions, including just before that 3. Yes, sir, there's the answer. DeAndre Harvey doing it from inside, doing it from outside. Back-to-back buckets for Harvey in dramatically different fashion. Here's a steal the other way and laying it up and in. That's DeAndre Harvey. So what a run here for Harvey. 6'4" sophomore. Seldom Ridge behind the back. Thomas for 3. That is way off the mark. Underneath the basket, though, was James Foster. Couldn't put the rebound in. But a turnover on the ensuing play. Foster will get it back on top to Worthen. So right back up to 9, and again, Williston stretches its lead to its largest of the night. 9. Worthen drives and will draw the foul. Rodriguez can't believe it. Neither can most of the Williston faithful. Rodriguez just picked up another personal, and that may have been his 4th. We'll double check. Or actually, no, just his 3rd.
Back into the ball game for Williston's number.
Oh no, and beg your pardon, it was his 4th. So that is a pretty major development. No wonder Rodriguez was trying to plead his case. There's definitely contact there, but could have gone either way. But when you're playing with 3 fouls, you're potentially lighting the fire with that matchbook in your hand. Lead is 7. 3 ball on the way. That's off the back rim. No good by Reggie White. And a whistle on the rebound. And a foul. I believe this is on White for the push.
Fouls on Reggie White, his 2nd, team's 4th.
2 on White. 4th on Williston. So Hilliard here with almost, in fact, yeah, I was going to say that's only the 4th, not the 5th. They'll shoot starting on the next Williston foul. Williston bench still pleading their case. There's a roll to the rack and a 2 for Malcolm Worthen. Quickly back the other way. Here come the Red Devils. Almost traveling was Harvey. He's had a great 3rd quarter. And now a reach and a foul. Harvey with 9 points, by the way, of 4 of 5 shooting. Seldom Ridge whistled for the foul. Knocked out of bounds. It'll stay Williston ball. Jim Irvin trying to work the officials and get some explanations here. A little frustrated, but Kind of goes with the territory. Pressure cooker here at the RP Funding Center. His team leads by 5, looking for back-to-back state championships. That will not help the cause as Reggie White loses the handle. 3 ball on the way, maybe? Nope. Missed inside by Thomas and then a foul. Didn't know if Foster was going to tee it up. He had a wide open look.
Fouls on Brandon Seldenbridge for Hilliard, his 3rd, team 2nd.
Foster doesn't play a lot, but he is 3 of 5 from beyond the arc this year. 60%. Should have let it go. Williston with the basketball and a 5-point lead. Reggie White brings it up over the half-court line, gives it to Brown. Looks in the corner for Quincy Parker, who's checked in. There is a long-range 3, and I do mean long by White. And careful here. Nope, everyone's all right. Parker took a tumble. 3 on the way, C.J. Hall. Yes, sir! C.J. Hall has 16 now in the game. Right back to a 2-point ball game. Brown, and he will be called for the travel. Red Flashes fans starting to heat up behind us. Chance for Williston to take the lead here. They have not led since midway through the first quarter, and that is an unforced error. So one chance to tie or take the lead by the boards for the moment at least. Only the 7th turnover of the game for Hilliard. They've been pretty clean, all things considered. Harvey going to try and take it to the hoop. No call. That annoys the Williston faithful. Hey, if you're in the black and white stripes and both sides are yelling at you, you're doing a good job. Down low to C.J. Hall. Drives to the rack and lays it in. C.J. Hall says, climb aboard, boys. I'm going to drive this train. 18 for Hall. Worthen going to be called for the reach. Third team foul of the quarter. DeAndre Harvey going to put it in play here. Down low now to Brown. Javon Brown, nice move on the paint. Looking for a foul, didn't get it, but did get the hoops. Thomas can't hit on the first one. Rebound collected by Brown. 2-on-1 here. To the rack, and a nice defensive play there by Tyler Lamb, or rather Malcolm Worthen. And Seldenbridge quickly back for Hilliard. Down 2, little spinorama, no good by C.J. Hall, but he gets his own rebound. That's a nifty little trick. Final 15 seconds of the quarter. So Hilliard going to play for a final shot here and a chance to take a tie or even maybe a 1-point lead to the 4th. Spinorama. A little too hard off the glass by Worthen. And the long-range 3 well off the mark. Buckle your seatbelt, time in Lakeland. It's a 2-point game as we go to the 4th. Williston 41, Hilliard 39, an entertaining game, and they are on their feet at the RP Funding Center, and they may stay that way for the entire 4th quarter. Don't go away. Williston 41, Hilliard 39, back with the 4th quarter. In just a moment, you're watching the Class 1A Florida High School Boys Basketball State Championship game on the NFHS network.
High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player to get your digital copy today.
Here we go, 8 minutes to glory for one of these two teams. It's getting loud here in Lakeland. And getting fun. Last quarter of the week, maybe. We had a triple overtime game a couple of nights ago, so who knows, maybe bonus ball in the offing here. Tots hands off to Worthen. Worthen gives it off to Seldom Ridge. Jump line, foul line jumper is good by Thomas to tie it. Some third quarter numbers for you. Hilliard shooting 39% from the floor. Williston smoking hot still from the floor, and that's partly why. 62% from the floor now. Just 1 of 9 from beyond the 3, but they've got 38 points in the paint. All but 5. And that's going to be a blocking foul. I don't think they're going to call it. Let's see. I think they might.
They've got 38 points in the paint.
They will call it. Good. It was contact on the floor, but a little bit of continuation there. And it'll be a chance for an old-fashioned 3 for Malcolm Worthen, who now has 11 in the ballgame to go along with his 4 steals and 3 rebounds. 5 of 7 from the line here so far tonight. And make it 6 of 8. Old-fashioned 3 complete, and that puts Hilliard up by 1, 44-43. Tight, tense battle on a Saturday night here in Lakeland. Javon Brown with it. Rodriguez. Just feel like every single possession is so precious and so valuable. Rodriguez with 4 fouls. Hands off to Brown. Brown going to take it to the paint. Can't get it to fall, but I think Kevin Thomas going to be called for the foul.
Fouls on Kevin Thomas, his second.
2 on Thomas, and Javon Brown will head to the charity stripe now. Wins out the first. Brown on the season, 50% from the line. He's got 8 points in the ballgame. His 9th would tie it. Would be our 4th tie of the game, and he hits. Underneath, no good. Battle for the rebound, and out of there with it is Kyler Lamb. Quickly back the other way, and a turnover. And then almost a turnover coming the other way. Worthen bobbles. Now Seldom Ridge puts it up too hard off the glass, out of bounds. It'll be Hilliard basketball. C.J. Hall with it. 18 points in the game, looking for more. A little fadeaway 12-footer way short, and then a foul. That might have been after the shot. It's kind of a weird-looking play. Nope, they will call it a shooting foul. So Hall will head to the free throw line. 2 of 3 from the free throw line. Hilliard just 3 of 7, or rather 7 of 10 from the stripe. And Hall hits the first. He's actually 1 of 1. He's 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. Williston 3 of 4. So not been a lot of free throws in the game, but Hilliard is hit at a 73% clip here. And because of that, they have a 2-point advantage now. Ton of time left. And both teams with a ton of timeouts, by the way. Williston has all 5 left. And Hilliard has 4 of their 5. Nice feed inside to Rodriguez. Can't get it to fall. Remember, Rodriguez in there with 4 fouls. He's the only player in the game with 4 fouls right now. And the only other player that has any kind of foul issues really is Seldom Rich. He's playing with 3. Everyone else with 2 or less. Rodriguez. Spinorama out at the top of the key, pulls up from 10 and turns it over. Is Worthen with it from 14 off the back iron. A couple of bounces, no good, and Kyler Lamb says, my ball. Thank you very much. Rodriguez. Going to move some chess pieces down low. Lamb, almost a travel. Rodriguez will reset the offense here. Inside 5 to play. Hilliard by 2. On the way, Rodriguez can't get it to fall. And timeout taken by Hilliard. Myron Saunders, the head coach of the Red Flashes, 53-year-old out of Santa Fe College, where he played basketball. 11 years as a head coach, 152 wins for Hilliard. Reached the Final Four in 2019-20 with a 23-5 record, but as we said, no championships in literally decades. Every win that they put on their ledger, now 25, hoping for 26, rewrites the school record books. Most wins in a season, obviously. Turnover there, Rodriguez. Dishes off to Lamb. Lamb bobbles, and it'll stay Williston basketball. Down low to Lamb. Down lower to Rodriguez, who waits and hits and draws the foul. Nice patience by Rodriguez. Good patient possession with a lot of looks for the Red Devils there.
Team's third. At the line, shooting 1 will be Airman's Rodriguez.
It's not that the Red Flashes don't have a history here in the state tournament. This is their 8th appearance in school history, but their only title came back all the way in 1963. The last time they were here was 2020. Down by 1. Rebound put back by Foster is off the mark, but it was knocked out of bounds by the Red Devils. Worthen will put it in play here. Gives it up to C.J. Hall. C.J. Hall going to spin in the lane, blocked by a couple of different Williston players. Brown and Lamb. Ahead of the field is Lamb, and he will connect, or they're going to call the foul on the ground. Now, they're going to talk about it here. You could almost even call it an intentional foul. Here's the replay. Kind of a weird-looking play. Lamb was grabbed around the midsection, but I think the initial foul was called before that grab around the midsection. No, they are going to call it an intentional foul. So Lamb will shoot 3, and Seldenridge committed the foul, so that's 4 on Seldenridge. Lamb hits the first. It's a pretty nice looking stroke there for a big guy. And Lamb is a 67% free throw shooter. Doesn't get the roll there. So Williston will keep possession up 2 here. Inside 4 to go. And timeout taken here by Williston, I believe. It is Williston taking the timeout. Williston's head coach, as we said, is Jim Irvin, 54-year-old, graduate of Marion College, played basketball for a few years for Marion, graduate of Union High out of Modoc, Indiana. 4 years at Williston, but an extensive varsity career, 426 career wins. He has coached in Dunellen, Seven Rivers Christian, and Crystal River previously. So it'll be an inbounds play from under the basket after the intentional foul. Rodriguez looking, and finally finds Kyler Lamb. Nice to have a 6'6" guy on the floor when you need to throw it up high to avoid a 5-second count. This is Reggie White. Leaves it for Rodriguez. Parker. Little spin move in the lane. Nice block by Kevin Thomas on Javon Brown. And then Parker picks up the loose ball and drops it in. Williston by 4. Will they win back-to-back titles? Will Hilliard win their first title since 1963? 3 minutes to decide it. C.J. Hall, and he can't connect. Quickly back as Parker makes a nice move off the glass, no good. Rebound is no good, and a third look finally is in by Javon Brown, whose best sport, by the way, isn't even basketball. He's going to become a Toledo Rocket next fall and play on a football scholarship in Northwest Ohio. Rolled to the basket by Worthen, and some trouble now if you're Hilliard. Down 6 and looking a little scattered, and there's the foul. James Foster committing it. So heading to the line is Reggie White. He and Rodriguez and Kyler Lamb all with offers on the table, but they have not yet made a commitment to where they might pursue their collegiate careers. But Lamb is senior, White is senior, and Rodriguez is senior. So Williston with a lot of talent playing their last basketball game for them, win, lose, or draw. Right now the lead is 6. Tons of time left, 2:25. Timeouts remaining, 4 for Williston, 3 for Hilliard. So this last 2:25 may take a long time to play. Going to be a lot of strategy sessions on both benches. You get that feeling. Worthen with it. Worthen going to drive to the glass, lays it up and in, and draws the foul. Pretty roll to the hoop by Worthen. Let's take a second look at that one. A little delay out near the foul line and then turn down the afterburners. Parker, the guilty party, and a chance for an old-fashioned 3 again, and it's good. So that cuts the Williston lead to just 3. One possession game with still 2:16 to go, and here comes the parade timeout. So let's reset for you. We'll do that when we get a chance to catch our breaths, because it is all important here in the final 2:16. Team foul situation is Williston is in the bonus. They will shoot on any Hilliard foul from here on out. Williston has 1 to give. They have committed 3 team fouls. And so they have 1 in their hip pocket if they need it. Both teams still with plenty of timeouts. Williston with 4, in fact, and Hilliard with 2 remaining. Possession arrow, which is always very important, pointing towards the Williston Red Devil side of the court. Parker can run the baseline here if need be on the throw-in. We don't always see players remember that if there's a lot of pressure. There wasn't necessarily that there, but that's something sometimes young players tend to forget about. Referees often will remind them. Coaches will as well, but you know, in the heat of the moment. Rodriguez has played with 4 fouls for a long time. Admirable effort by him to stay aggressive and not foul out of the game yet. Parker picks it up. Parker going to drive into the paint and leaves it off for Lamb. Williston going to run some clock here, but boy, they got a long time to try and run it out. Now a look inside to Parker, who dishes off to Reggie White, who misses. Parker pushes up, rather White pushes up the rebound and draws the foul. Nice work by Reggie White to stay with it.
Inside the Parker, dishes off to
Well, he out-battled 2 different Hilliard defenders there for that rebound. Talk about some want to.
Rebound and score by Reggie White. Basket counts. He will shoot 1 when we come out of the timeout.
So White will shoot after the timeout. White with 14 in the ball game, leading scorer for Williston. Brown with 13, Rodriguez with 9, Lamb with 9. White and Lamb with 6 rebounds each. C.J. Hall continues to lead all scorers with 20, and almost somewhat quietly, Malcolm Wortham has 15 points and 3 rebounds and 5 steals. A lot of that because it's come from the free throw line, 7 of 9 for Wortham there. Williston has not been great from the free throw line, 5 of 11, so not even 50%. But they lead it by 5 with 89 seconds to go. Rebound underneath and another foul. Well, first things first, Hilliard's got to grab a rebound. Williston winning that battle. It's been close, 28-26, but they have grabbed a couple of key boards here in the last 2 minutes. And Javon Brown, the soon-to-be Toledo Rocket, will switch the first. Not a great free throw shooter, 50%. And those two look pretty darn nice. Lead is 7. Biggest lead has been 9. That came midway through the third quarter. So it's never been at double digits, but it's at 7 right now, and if you're Hilliard, you need a real good possession. Braden Holly into the ball game. Leaves it for Worthen on the baseline. Rejected by Lamb and almost saved in bounds. It is, but spin to the basket, and Lamb going to be called for the foul as Worthen powered into the paint. Pretty good defense by Lamb. He can't believe the whistle, but
It is, but
there's some contact there.
spin to the basket, and Lamb going to be called for the foul as Morgan.
His third. Team's third.
So a chance for Malcolm Worthen to continue his good night at the line, and that is not the time you want to see a miss. Never want to see a miss, but not in the final minute of the state championship game. So closest Hilliard can come is 6, but this is important because it would make it a 2-possession game. And he gets the shooter's roll there. So Worthen in the ball game now with 16. Inside a minute to go. Rodriguez being watched by Worthen. Finds some space, drives to the hole, hits, and he's fouled. Kevin Thomas did all he could to deny the attempt, and instead he will give Rodriguez a chance to complete a 3-point play. Rodriguez now with 11 in the ball game. Third Red Devil to reach double figures. Getting real late here for the Red Flash at the moment. They are now down 9, which matches their biggest deficit. One thing to be down 9 midway through the game, another to be down 9 late in the fourth quarter. Hilliard needs some points. Hall going to try and continue to put his team on his back, and Kevin Lamb says, not this time, my friend. C.J. Hall with 20. Here's another look at the defensive play by Lamb. Nicely done. No contact down low, which was his undoing on the last block attempt. Seldom Ridge didn't pop the 3, gets it down low. Another block by Lamb. And it's out of bounds off Hilliard. Boy, what a sequence defensively for the 6'6 senior Kyler Lamb. He's got 4 blocks in the ball game. Home run pass to Rodriguez, but Williston does not need to shoot here. And a foul committed by C.J. Hall, but gotta believe that may be under the heading of a little too little and a little too late. They are starting to come to their feet here at the RP Funding Center. Are the fans of the Williston Red Flashes, or Red Devils rather, on the verge of back-to-back state championships. Good night for the Gainesville area. Hawthorne winning a girls 1A championship, and Williston on the verge of a boys 1A championship. Their second straight. Five seconds left to run out the clock here. And there's a long-range 3 off the glass. C.J. Hall doing what he can to try and keep Hilliard's hopes alive, but time is going to run out here. And that's going to do it at the RP Funding Center. Back-to-back state champs. How does that sound, Williston? How does that sound? It sounds loud and happy. The Red Devils win it by a final score of 61-53.
Fans are reminded to please step off the court
congratulations to the Red Devils. This one was tight throughout, and Hilliard just never did quite sustain the momentum when they took the lead with 4:29 to go. They took a 46-44 lead, but could only manage 7 points the rest of the way. In fact, Hilliard outscored over the final 4.5 minutes of the fourth quarter, 17-7, and ended up on the short end of a 61-53 count. So Brown finishes the night. Javon Brown with 15. Rodriguez with 14. White with 14. Lamb with 9. And Harvey with 9. Just 5 players in the scoring column. And boy, talk about shooting from the floor, 60% in the game for Williston. And they also won the rebounding battle by 1, 29-28. Just 1 of 9 from beyond the arc, but they just dominated down low, 48 points in the paint of their 61. For Hilliard, 23 points from C.J. Hall and 16 points from Malcolm Wortham, just not quite enough on this evening. Leading rebounder was C.J. Hall as well with 6, and he also added 4 steals. So we'll stay right here and have the trophy and medallion presentations for both teams. What a week it has been here in Lakeland, just wall-to-wall great basketball. Been very, very, very few lopsided games this week. Traditionally in some of the semifinals we've seen some lopsided, and there were a couple, but most of them have been highly competitive and more like the triple overtime game we saw Gibbs win to advance to the finals earlier today and win their first championship since 1969. Hilliard making a bid for their first title trophy since 1963, and it will fall just a little bit short here tonight, but lots of reasons to have a lot of pride and feel good about what they have accomplished here in 2023 and 24.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the court for the award ceremony. Presenting the team trophies on behalf of the Florida High School Athletic Association are Mr. Ed Thompson.
Runner-up trophy being presented to Hilliard, DJ Alderman, Jake Franklin, James Foster, Braden Holly, C.J. Hall, Malcolm Wortham, Brandon Seldenridge, Nate Groman, Ethan Garland, Javon Lee, King McMillan, Kevin Thomas, and Anthony New. Staff including Raquez Alderman, Carlos Hall, and Raquez Alderman. We mentioned Myron Saunders, the head coach. Not the trophy they wanted, but as we said, no shame in their game. A great season, ends at 24 wins and 25 wins and 3 losses, and a big cheer from their students and family and friends that made the trip from almost the Georgia border near Jacksonville. For Williston, back-to-back titles. Jim Irvin, the head coach, with assistants Adrian Feliciano, Greg Hamilton, C.J. James Jr., Corey Lamb, and Rafael Salgado. And here comes the championship trophy. Medallions being passed out as well. Reggie White, Aramis Rodriguez, Javon Brown, Giovanni Wright, DeAndre Harvey, Kyler Lamb, Jace McDonald, McKay Seabrook, Quincy Parker, Isaiah Lewis Thompson, Trayston Armstrong and Jaden McGee.
Has presented the state championship trophy to head coach Jim Irvin.
They will party deep into this Saturday night in Williston, I'm sure. Never gets old no matter how many are in the trophy case. Everyone is a little different, everyone a little more satisfying for different reasons than the previous. And congratulations to the Red Devils, back-to-back Class 1A state basketball champions. And a lot of talent will be gone. White is senior, Rodriguez is senior, Brown is senior, Lamb. So they know that they will have to reload next year, but don't expect that it will be as big a struggle as you might think with that kind of a loss of talent. That is one of the very good programs in the state of Florida. So the final, once again, Williston 61 and Hilliard 53. It's been a great week here at the RP Funding Center. Thanks to Gary, William, Charlie, and the gang from GT Sports for their tremendous work. Many thanks to the Florida High School Athletic Association, Visit Central Florida, and the good people here at the RP Funding Center for doing everything they can do to make it such an easy and fun time for us despite very long days. We will be back here next Wednesday. We will kick off action at 1 o'clock with 4 games on Wednesday, 4 games on Thursday, 6 games next Friday, and then another championship Saturday to bring the 2024 Florida High School boys and girls basketball state championships to a close. So the next time we talk to you on the NFHS Network will be at 1 o'clock next Wednesday afternoon, and if next week is half as good as this week, you will not want to miss it. Congratulations again to Williston, your defending now Class 1A state boys basketball champions. Until next Wednesday, have a great weekend and a great week, everybody.
He's going to take it himself for a championship.